No, I do believe we are back live. Apologies, that was my connection. That's about that. Hopefully we are back off the race here for the GT1 to pick up. We are back live, which is good to see. But it is Sig who leads 4.8 seconds out in front. Back's in second, 34 seconds. We'll be going to the end though on that set of fuel and set of tyres, of course. Cypher in fourth, with Ibrick now in fifth, Schwammy in sixth, Snaker in seventh. He's got Barry, in fact, all over the back of him. Has Schwammy, I do believe that is Barry. Yeah, that is Barry just in behind him. Snaker in seventh, as I said, just coming through Paddock Hill Bend. Slightly out wide there. GTS in eighth, Barry in ninth, Max in 10th, Max Fly in 10th, and Marcos still going round out on track. That's what we like to see. We love to see a good old trier. Marcos still going round out on track. He's in 11th place. And just to pick up on Barry's penalty, actually, it's a 10-second time penalty for Barry. He is 5 laps behind in terms of the leader. 118.1, by the way, fastest lap for Sig, 118.8 for Bax, and 118.6 for Javier Rand. So the top three managing a 118, Barry with a 118 as well, and Marcos with a 118.7 respectively. Both of them only around 300th of a second separating each other in terms of fastest lap. Of course, it does not all matter about the fastest lap of the race, of course. We'll go on board then with the leader, and we'll take you really on board with a full lap as we come around. We'll go from when he comes around next time around. We'll go on for a full lap, and I'll try and commentate you through what I think is going to be Sig's 45th lap out on track here at Brandtach Grand Prix Circuit. Of course, tuning in, not familiar with the circuit, there are two different layouts here to Brandtach. There's a track that is down in the south of the country in Kent. One of my good online friends that I've commentated and raced against, in fact, has worked at Brandtach before, so he knows the track much better than me. And he used to be part of a company called Race Room, and they used to give like simulator experiences at the track. And I think they merged into a different company, so that's why he has decided to move on wherever else. But with about 30 minutes to go, we'll go on board then. We'll continue to go on board with Sig here for a lap of Brandtach, running now down towards Paddock Hill Bend, running into turn 1 now. Only a 10th off his best lap there with an 18.3. Very nice lap there from Sig. But in the meantime, coming through Paddock Hill Bend, up the hill into Druid's Hairpin. Through the hairpin he goes, very nicely indeed. 30 minutes to go roughly here in GT1 series. Not many battles happening out on track. Coming through Graham Hill Bend now. On the run down towards Surtees. It's very difficult left-hander. Let's hang off the camber of the corner here. Try and get as inside as possible for the run out. Very nice line through there from Sig. He's only 2 tenths down on his best lap. Coming through Pilgrim's Drop now. And up into the corner that I keep forgetting the name of, this right-hander. Now up towards the next right-hander, which is Westfield, then down towards Dingle Dell, which is where he's coming through now, through Dingle Dell, then back up the hill through towards Surtees, which is, not Surtees, Stirling I should say, which is the left-hand corner here, through there, and then on the run down towards Clark Curve and Clearways. This is now through Clearways, where the Indy track joins on to the main track. Through Clark Curve he comes, and that is for a lap of Brandtach. With Sig, the race leader, comes across the line. He's only a 10th and a half off. Good applause there. Round of applause, please. In your bedrooms, in your homes, in your anything, wherever you are watching this race. But Sig, very nice lap there. 18.3 and was quicker in fact than this last time around. So Sig out in front by now, nearly 39 seconds. Bax in second, Javier Rand's in third, Cypher in fourth. That Ibrick and Schwammy battle has just faded very tamely now. Ibrick now pulling away from Schwammy, quickling him out on track quite comprehensively. In fact, 4 times quicker that last time around for sure. Ibrick 5th, Schwammy 6th, Snaker in 7th, shaking the camera there as he comes through Clearways. GTS in 8th, Bowie in 9th, Max in 10th, and Marcos in 11th place. Of course, I'm sure everyone will be tuning in and also wondering that we are commentating on 9/11, of course. 9/11 being 18th anniversary since those very tragic attacks on America in New York and Washington DC, and also in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. And I'm sure everyone united here in Gavra Racing would like to send our thoughts to those families of the 3,000 people, firefighters, NYPD officers, just normal civilians doing their everyday job, who are sadly no longer with us. And on this 18th anniversary, it is very poignant, I think, that of course we have to reflect on what happened back in the past for those tragic events in 9/11. Some of you may not have been around to see and hear about 9/11. And this is the first time that you are hearing about it, go and look it up after this race. I'm not going to go into detail over this stream about what happened, but of course I think we should be all united and just say thoughts and prayers with everyone involved on this very tragic day. Of course, they're pretty much needing through pretty much the full day now in America, and we will stand united for a world that is ridden for love and for peace, and that is what we all want to see at the end of the day. Enough of me being a bit more political, back to the action. Sig leads the way, 118.8 last time around, Bax in second, Javier Rands in third. In fact, Schwammy has just gone past Bax to unlap himself there, so Schwammy now, I think only 2 laps down on him now. It was 3 laps down, I do believe. But it is sunny here at Brands Hatch in Kent, and I hope to God that this weather does continue for Brands Hatch for the last 25 minutes of this race. I'm going to be absolutely boarding myself off in the thingy. Oh, we've had a spinner out on track. We have had a spinner. That was for position. That was Ibrick that was off. That was a Dingle Dell. So Ibrick off track. I'm not sure if he's caught the inside. Snaker just about to go past him, and this is for position, and Snaker is through. Ibrick purely just gets out of the way there with damage, I do believe. He will be coming into the pits, and I think he has got suspension damage, in fact. Right side suspension damage, I think, for Ibrick. Unless he's just warming up the tyres. But it looks like he's got suspension damage to me, and he is going to be coming into the pits, I think, to repair that. And it is on the rear, I do believe, of the car. So the rear right of the car is damaged, suspension damage there for Ibrick. We have lost Marcos, finally out of the race. 25 minutes left to go. Very hard for him to take, I think, after his contact that he had earlier on. But Marcos will probably come back better next week, and hopefully will be picking up good points, as he did prove in qualifying. And I've got to say, good performance in qualifying as well for Marcos, who, of course, has just retired out of the race. So we're down to 10 now in GT1 series. Still 25 minutes to go. Plenty of time to still kill here in the GT1 series. And of course, if you are just tuning in, Sig, who leads the way, did take the race win in Imola last week for pre-season, beating Javier Rands by about 5 seconds there last week in Imola. And Sig now leading the way from Bax in second. I think, in fact, it might have been a little bit more than 5 seconds, to be honest, for Sig. But Sig now leads the way, 47 seconds. Very easy gap from him out on track. It is in third place Javier Rands, who of course did finish second last time in pre-season. Cypher Knight in fourth, Snaker in fifth. Schwammy just coming into the pits in sixth. He's got damage on that front end there. The Schwammy into the pits. Ibrick has just came out of the pits. So Ibrick has just came out of the pits, and that is, I think, Snaker just going past him. It is. It's Snaker just going past him with Druid's hairpin. Ibrick coming through. So he will be right behind Schwammy, I think, coming out at the end. Schwammy has had his fuel added on to the end of his car, because he's still got 24 minutes of this race to go. I'm just going to quickly check the comment section, bearing any disconnects from my from the stream or anything like that. Just going to have a look. Always a professional, James, mate. Can't wait to watch the full race later, but always catch up later. Would love to join you as a guest commentator sometime on the Wednesday. Of course, you're more than welcome to join me on a Wednesday, and I think I'll run that through with Gavra first before we start on anything else, but I'm sure the commentators chat will be lively later on tonight. But 23 minutes left to go, and it is Sig who leads the way. It is a very, very convincing margin here for Sig. And if you did have him in as your driver of the day, well, I think you can probably add driver of the day and the Grand Slam to that, in fact, as well. Because he has taken pole position. He has taken... sorry, he did not take pole position. It was Barry stealing it late on in pole position. Of course, from Javier Rands in qualifying. And Sig, I think, was 4th in the end in qualifying. But it is Sig who is going to be winning this race, without a shadow of a doubt, unless he spins and loses 52 seconds from what is essentially an impossible position. Then that remains to be seen. We have got Battle though out on track, and it is Schwammy who's just came out the pits against Ibrick. These guys have been right at it once again. Ibrick is just in behind them actually in track. That I think is Barry just trying to get involved in this as well. Yeah, so Barry lapped by Schwammy. Ibrick trying to get onto the back of him, but Schwammy just running the race. Of course, he is on pressure tyres. We'll have a comparison actually. Looking to the right hand side of the screen where it says vehicle status. Schwammy for 4 minutes 23 off, just running wide there through Sterling. Now for Schwammy, and all green tyres are that rear right, possibly just looking a little bit colder there, Brick, so not getting the temperature as much into that rear right as possible. Of course, most of these corners will affect the left side more than the right side as Snicker spins through turn 1. Bit of a dramatic spin there through Paddock Hill Bend. Luckily there is no contact, there's no resulting contact. Somebody else is off though in the meantime. That was not Sig who was off. Was that Barry that was off possibly? Yes, it was. It was Barry that was off. Big damage for Barry through Paddock Hill Bend. Might have been a little bit of contact possibly there. Maybe. I don't know. I missed it, so I can't really comment on that. But Sig now through the worst of the traffic once again. He has got a car ahead of him. Which is Snaker, who did spin at Paddock Hill Bend. But Sig leads the way, nearly 52 seconds now, and you could be coming into the realms of possibility that Sig could in fact lap everyone out on track. Bax just coming through clearways now. There's still a lot of a distance in fact between Sig and Bax out on track. Got to gain another 26 seconds to get anywhere near. Trying to lap him as Snicker just spins in front of the leader to full 7:20, 10:80 nearly there from Snaker. Of course, not going to be impacting on this result at all. He's in 5th place though, he's having a good point score, but those spins now just costing him. Is he going to come into the pit, I wonder? Is he? No, he's not. Very interesting. He thinks he can continue on. Good resolution. 20 minutes to go here in GT1s, and Sig leads the way. 52.6 seconds. Bax in 2nd, Javier Rands in 3rd, Cypher Knight in 4th, Snake 5th, Schwammy, Ibrick, GTS, Bowie, and Max Fly down in 10th place, who is still trooping along back down there in 10th place. And of course, you're wondering why that red warning is next to Bowie. He has got a time penalty, and it's a 10-second time penalty at that. And maybe Marcos with that 50-second time penalty was probably thinking, if I lose 50 seconds, I'm going to be about 10 minutes down off the race win, which is pretty much like the Spania or something in the cycling. But I'm sure Marcos will come back stronger next week, as will Math Gamer and Interceptor as well, as a result of their earlier DNFs out of the race. But everyone's still continuing round out on track, and of course these guys that are still going round out on track, you haven't read the points, go on the website and have a look at the points, because you will get points for every single position. So first down to 10th, I think, gets anywhere between 30 and 5 points down to 10th, I think. 30, 24, 21, 18, 15, 12, 10, 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If I remember, that's how the point score goes here. And that's just off the top of my head, and I haven't got my iPad on to trust me on that. So, but I think that is the point score. If I remember from Gavra Academy, that's how the point score is. And I'm sure it's the same for GT1s. We'll confirm that though next week, however though, and probably in Discord as well. But in the meantime, GTS getting closer to Ibrick. Ibrick now under pressure from GTS. He's about 2 seconds behind at this stage, just coming through the right-hander towards Westfield now, which is this next right-hander before Dingle Dell. The GTS now closing in. Of course, GTS teaming up with Javier Rands in this series, in the GT1 series. And GTS beginning to gain the time on Ibrick. And he was 1.4 seconds quicker than Ibrick last time around. And GTS looking good at this stage. There is a second separating out on track. And Ibrick and GTS, this might be possibly one of the only battles you'll ever see in the second half of this race. 3/10 improvement on his personal best as well. So he is improving and was 4 seconds quicker than Ibrick last time around. So GTS right on the back. They go through Druid's hairpin once again, lap 55 here in the endurance, or lap 55 for the leaders. I think these guys are on lap 50 or 51, I would imagine. They're on lap 51, these two, Ibrick and GTS. But 0.8 of a second separating Ibrick and GTS at this stage. And looking how the race has developed, what are your guys' opinions? Who is the one that is going to steam out for the rest? Of course, Sig is 53 seconds out in front. Take that as a bit of a pinch of salt, though. If Javier Rands didn't have that drive-through, if he didn't spin a couple of times out on track, would Javier Rands be any closer to Sig than he is now? I think he would, as that is Ibrick going off into the gravel there. So GTS is now through, he's up to P7. Made it look easier than it looked, really, that. So GTS now up to 7th, Ibrick now down to 8th place. Bit of a mistake there from Ibrick. So now GTS gets going once again. 16 minutes to go. It's Sig who leads the way. He's just came across the line to start lap 56. The fatigue, the endurance levels are going to be dropping. I hope everyone is going to be having a lot of sugar after this race to just gain their blood pressure and that back up after this race. I think it is very gruesome, very tiring here, 1.5 hours for these drivers. I cannot express how difficult this would be for these guys out on track. I would not even attempt an hour race around here, never mind a 2-hour race. So, well, these an hour and a half race, I should say, not a 2-hour race. But these guys have to have as much commitment as possible to try and get to the end of the race. The tiredness, the fatigue will begin to be kicking in. If it hasn't already, it will be starting to kick in now. These last 15 minutes for these drivers will feel like an absolute age. And as long as they keep within the white lines and don't spin or don't lose any time out on track, then it should all be fine, and hopefully everyone gets the finish that they deserve within the top 10. But as we just tick under the last 15 minutes to go now, Sig leads the way. Back's in second, Javier Rands in third. Put down in the comment section those what you guys have thought of this race, what you guys might have thought of my commentary as well, and my disconnect because of my connection. Do apologise about that. Max Ply is into the pit lane. So Max Ply is into the pits. Had a contact with the wall there. The front end looking quite a bit damaged actually. Max Ply just rolls into that pit stop now. Not much happening out on track. He won't fix the car. I think it's going to be a straight stop and go pretty much here from Max Ply. He is down at the back in P10. Still going right out on track, and I think keep calm and carry on has been his motto here tonight in the GT1 series, as we have just ticked under 14 minutes to go now. Track temperature has gained around 15 degrees in terms of temperature from when we had the conditions of overcastness where the cloud cover developed. Max Ply is just coming out of the pit. I think that his back's just coming through into P2. Oh, and Bax has had an off at P2. That is a bit of a strange one on me. That's slightly strange. Didn't look like he was anywhere near coming out of the pits, to be honest. Was maybe just overcooking it slightly with his brakes, maybe. I can only explain that as how it is, to be honest. I think he did overcook it through turn 1 of Paddock Hill Bend. So Bax now has lost pretty much, I think, as a result of that slight off into the gravel and taking a bit of a sand excursion. He's now lost a good 4 or 5 seconds as a result of that. Still Sig who leads the way. It's going to be about a minute, I think, between Sig and Bax towards the end of the race. Sig, by the way, you're wondering where he's positioned out on track. Sig is the next car behind Bax out on track. Quite worrying for Bax, I think. He is about to get lapped. But it comes to show how consistent and how determined Sig has been out in front. Extending out that gap even further. We push the final 12 minutes here. Max Ply is well clear. He's just coming through Clark Curve there now to come and start his lap. But Sig in the meantime through Clark Curve and Clearways, or Clearways and Clark Curve. Sigler looking good at this stage. I will pick up with the comment section at the end of the race now, with the final 12 minutes now upon us out on track. Of course, fatigue going to be kicking in for these guys. It is going to be such a hard race for these guys to really gather, and I think hats off to everyone that has participated here tonight. Everyone has made this as best of a race as possible. Endurance is not all about battling. Of course, I'd love to see the battling out on track. It's a personal favourite of mine. It's a personal favourite of you as viewers as well to see. As Barry now has came into the pits in the meantime, so we'll go on board then with Barry, who's came into the pits. That windscreen is pretty much damaged, glass cracked. Surprised he hasn't came through the front screen at the minute, and the driver's not out the pits. I think it's just for a new set of tyres, this pit stop. So Barry about to come out the pits. Fuel pump is out. Should be coming out very shortly indeed, unless he's got damage maybe, and he does have damage. We'll come back on board though in the meantime. Bax is there. There is Sig just in behind. He's just coming to clear, just coming through Clark Curve now, just across the start-finish line. Sig will possibly be lapping every single person out on track at least once. That is a bit of a ridiculous thing to think about, but it's true. It is true. Lap 60. I did say we'll get 70 laps out of this. We're just going to fall short of that mark. It's going to be around 65, 66, 67 laps, I think, maybe here. We're now approaching the last 10 minutes of GT1s. Sig leads the way by 1 minute, 4 seconds, 0.5, leading the way. And they're in pretty much the same camera shot now, these two. There's nothing really happening out on track either. Schwami has pulled away from GTS, if you are a fan of one of those two. Schwami in 6th, GTS in 7th. It's 4 minutes behind, but Schwami doing a great job by himself to pull away from GTS, and that gap is now 9 seconds, as I say. But now Sig, with 9.5 minutes to go, is now beginning to get Bax, and this will be for a lap gain for Sig. And Sig, of course, has been a dominant win here tonight. There is a bit of a thingy going on. That is Max Ply, I think, is that? Yeah, that's Max Ply, just getting out of the way. Just interrupted Bax's momentum slightly. With now Sig right on the back. This is, of course, going to be a move. Well, this is going to be a lap gain for Sig here. Of course, blue flag will be shown any second now, and Bax gets out of the way. Good sportsmanship shown there. Even though they are first two out on track, you have to give way to the driver who is quicker, and that, of course, is Sig, who is in P1 and has now lapped every single person out on the track, which I think is quite unbelievable if you think about it that way. Just come to show how consistent he's been. I don't think I've seen him make a single mistake out on track. It's been pure dominance from Sig here tonight, and surely you will consider him as the favourite for the season going ahead as we move into the, of course, 11 rounds after this. Donington and Silverstone, the next 2 rounds for us in GT1s. In the meantime, Schwami has had a moment. That is out of Dingle Dell. Gets back underway. Not sure what happened to Schwami there, but he has lost a position as a result. So GTS now up into 6th place. GTS is up to P6. He's still going round. Schwami will still go round as well on P7. We'll try and catch with the final couple of laps to go. Ibrick now down in 8th place, 20 seconds off Ibrick. Barry in 9th. Max Ply now over 10 minutes behind the leader in 10th place. But we'll focus on the battle for 6th and 7th. GTS and Schwami with 7.5 minutes to go here out on track. Sig still leads the way. Back's in 2nd. Javier Ranz out in 3rd place at this moment in time. But it's all about Sig tonight here in the GT1s. But for now, it's all about the battle for 6th. 2nd separating. Schwami going well out wide there through Sterling and the left-hander. Goodness me. Ooh. Come on, well wide there. But he's kept it on track, still within the white lines. Now a 2nd, 1.2, 1.3 seconds separating between GTS and Schwami. Approach the end of the race. Marcos leaving the session. Thank you to him though for competing and trying to troop around right at the back for most of that race. Pity that we've seen a DNF from him, but there we go. Well, lap 63 for the leaders. Sig leading the way. Back's in 2nd now on lap 62. Javier Ranz still in 3rd. Thought he would have made some sort of impact possibly on Bax, but Bax has been a bit quicker than him. But in the meantime, you guys are tuning in now. You might have picked the right time to tune in because we've got Battle for 6th now developing out on track. It is GTS who has gained that position in the last couple of laps on Schwami, who was just nearly going to overrun Paddock Hill Ben there. But GTS now under pressure from Schwami, of course. Both of these drivers have came through Gavra in the past, Gavra Academy. I've had the privilege of commentating on them both in the past. Snaker has came into the pits though in the meantime, another one that has came through the Gavra Academy route this in Gavra. And is he coming in for a pit stop or is he coming in for a drive-through? He's coming in for a pit stop. Snaker is in. This could prove very interesting now though. GTS and Schwami are just coming through the double right. Schwami runs miles out wide there. Snaker is coming out the pits now possibly. But GTS and Schwami just going through Dingle Dell and running through the double right. We're going to see very shortly Snaker come out the pits. This is going to look very interesting, I think. If Snaker gets out in about 20 seconds time, he's going to be out behind these two guys who are fighting it out for position. So Snaker could have a three-way battle going on here. I think he's got damage as a result. GTS and Schwami now come past. He's not coming out of his pit box there, so Snaker has been overtaken. He's now out of his pit box. So Snaker held a little bit too long there. GTS and Schwami now ahead, and it's only 0.2 of a second. Separating as they come through Druid's hairpin, and Schwami catches the back end there with GTS. And he has spun on the inside of Druid's hairpin. It's going to let Snaker now get into contention. He is just ahead of Bax out on track. And Schwami has spun again, and he's up that position to Snaker as a result at Druid's hairpin. So Schwami now down to 7th place after potentially going for a move on GTS. That gap has now just spread eagled out very, very succinctly indeed. GTS on very cold tyres now, light cloud beginning to come over. Track temperature has just dropped slightly. Air temperature is up though. In the meantime, with 4 minutes to go, Sig leads the way. 1 minute 17 seconds ahead. Backed in 2nd, Javier Ranz in 3rd. And as you can tell, I'm normally used to the gaps being around 1.7 seconds, to be honest, and probably trying to close up into the final couple of laps. Endurance a whole different kettle of fish to what I've commentated on in F1 in the past, but thoroughly enjoyed this race. Thoroughly enjoyed everyone keeping me company in the comments section. Thoroughly enjoyed the action that has unfolded out on track. Maybe you could argue lack of action has unfolded out on track, but it's part of the course. Sigdal leads the way with possibly another 3 laps to go, I think, as he comes up through Dingle Dell. Now at the right-hander, then through the left at Sterling. Yeah, there's Sterling that is coming through now. I'm trying to do this without a track map, if you may remember as well. So yeah, but Sig though coming through the final corner at Clark Curve. We'll have another 2 more laps after this. Do you believe? In fact, we might get another 3 more laps after this. Just remains to be seen. Just remains to be seen. 2 minutes and 45 seconds left on the clock. Of course, if you are, I will come on to say about Brands Hatch a little bit more towards the end of the stream. Of course, Brands Hatch, the Grand Prix circuit, did play host to the inaugural season finale of the W Series, the Women's Series, running traditional Formula 3 cars, and it was Britain's own Jamie Chadwick that took that win. Of course, if you do want to look into W Series, they have announced 14 new drivers that are going to be testing out for the season ahead, for the 2020 season ahead, and I think there were 3 or 4 UK drivers. There's a few Germans in there as well. The driver I am most looking forward to, I think she's only 17 or 18. If she gets through, Abby Munro, she is an absolute natural at what she comes. She is part of one of the good academies here in the UK. Watch out for her, because I think she could have a sneaky chance of getting through being a UK driver on the grid. So watch out for Abby Munro. You've heard her here first. Watch out for Abby Munro out on track in W Series, certainly in testing in Almeria in Spain in the next couple of weeks. So watch out for the W Series. And I think if you are one that likes to get involved with women empowerment and wants to support and wants to see any bit of racing, then W Series is probably the one to watch, I think. As I begin to lose my voice, we'll come back on board though to GTS and Snake though in the meantime. 2.3 seconds separating these guys out on track. They come across the line. 50 seconds to go in the GT1. Sig is just coming through into Dingle Dell now. So at the end of sector 2. Coming up through the hill now. Oh, and fatigue beginning to kick in for me there. Bit of a yawn. First yawn of the night. Right at the end, which is good. 30 seconds though still to go. Sig will be coming across the line for one more final lap out on track. We should be getting Sig to come across the line very shortly to start the final lap of the race. And this will be the final lap of the race coming across the line. Sig starts the final lap then. Bax is 1 minute and 28 seconds behind. He's not going to be coming. He will be coming across the line first. So Bax will be coming across the line to end this final lap first, I do believe. As the timing has ended, so we should be getting Bax to come across the line very shortly indeed. In fact, I think he might have another lap. In fact, yeah, Bax has got another lap here. So just ignore what I'm going on about. It's when Sig comes across the line. That's when we get the checker flags out. So Sig should be coming across the line very shortly indeed. He will have a couple of cars in front. We're going to be waiting quite a long time, I think, for the battle. And speaking of battles, GTS and Snaker now only a second separating. Less than a second now between GTS and Snaker as they go on to the final lap. This is for 5th and 6th. Snaker has got front end damage there, you can see. Just wobbling about, the bumper coming off slightly. But in the meantime, Sig is on the run through the left-hander now towards Clearways for the final time, and it is going to be Sig who's going to take round 1 of the championship and a full 30 points with him as well, and who will get fastest lap. Sig then round the final corner at Clark Curve, he takes it. Sig will win here at Brands Hatch. Fantastic win for Sig. He'll be very happy with that. Bax will be coming across the line soon to finish in 2nd place. Javier Rand is just about to get out of the way of him, I think. This is not for position, remember, this is for 2nd and 3rd. Javier Rand's good sportsmanship shown there by the Spaniard. He's about to come across the line. We have got a couple of drivers now coming across the line as well. Bax then coming across the line to finish in 2nd place. Javier Rand will be coming across the line to finish in 3rd. Good performances by them. Good decent points all added in. We've still got Cypher Knight going round out on track. We've got Snaker then coming through the final corner, and he has got past GTS as a result of an overtake early on in the lap. So Snake are now coming across the line to finish in 5th place. GTS is going to be coming across the line to finish in 6th. Schwammy will be coming across the line to finish in 7th. And we've got Cypher Knight coming around the final corner now to finish in 4th. And I think we might have Bowie and Max Fly possibly to still come across the line as well. There is Max Fly. It is not Bowie. Bowie's already finished. It is Ibrick that we're waiting on. So Max Fly better come across the line in 10th place. Good showing from Max Fly. Even though he's finished in 10th, he rounds off with a 22.5. Nice lap from there. From him and Ibrick across the line. Final one to come across the line. And that is the end of the race here in the GT1 series. And Sig has taken the win. Bax in 2nd. Javier Rands in 3rd. Cypher Knight in 4th. With Snaker in 5th. GTS in 6th. Schwammy in 7th. Ibrick in 8th. Bowie in 9th with an 11-second penalty. Max Fly in 10th. Math Gamer in 11th. Oh, and look who that is in 12th. That is me, and I'm not getting any points because I didn't compete. However, they should be giving commentators points out for me. And of course, first round of the championship is now over and done with. And I will give you guys a bit of a promise for next week. I will start doing driver interviews from next week. Of course, this is the first round of the championship. I'm sure we'll be able to hear from some of the guys in the Discord and in the comment section as well as we end this stream. But I will be doing interviews from next week in Donington Park. Because first round of the championship, you can't really engage what these guys are thinking. I like to do it from the second race of the season. Just to essentially get a reflection on the first 2 races, see how they've gone, and see what they're looking forward to in the future. Of course, it is Donington Grand Prix circuit up next, another challenge for these GT1s. You could argue a bit of a more familiar track for these GT1s, but driver interviews will be coming next week to Gavra Racing, and I will be very committed to doing the driver interviews from next week, and that will be in Donington. In the meantime though, for Gavra Racing going forward here, as we've reached the end, the schedule for this week is as follows. I'm not sure if we've got anything else up this week. I do believe we might have the Radicals up this week, actually. The Radicals should be starting... Yeah, the Radicals, in fact, pre-season was last week. Radicals are going to be on Friday. Brands Hatch going to be hosting that as well. And I do believe it is going to be Cadwell. I'm not sure who commentates for Radical, but tune in for that, whoever's going to be commentating. In the meantime, if you are very... if you do want to follow me around a bit more in my commentaries, you can come and follow me on Twitter at B52Head. I've got my commentator schedule up on there. My next commentary is going to be on Friday for TTFL. So that should be a very interesting race on F1 2019. So if you do want to tune in for that, more than happy you can come and tune in for that. But in the meantime, we'll end here for the GT1 series. Thank you to everyone who's raced out on track. Thank you to everyone for tuning in to the comment section. Apologies once again about my connection, can't be helped. But in the meantime, I've been JamesHead14. Thank you very, very much for watching here tonight. And until next time, and in fact, I'm just going to come on to, before we end, I'm just going to come on to some of the reaction. Marco saying, sorry mate, was looking good for tonight, but after second corner I got smashed massively. What gives me a 2 laps behind race leader, want to go for the fight back, where you know ends up in the DSQ for speeding in the pit lane. So Marcos in fact got disqualified for speeding in the pit lane. And congrats to the podium finishers, to Sig, to Bax and to Javier Rands as well. And Sig just coming in and saying congrats to all the finishers, it was a hard race and we got through it. We did get through it, and on that note I'll end here. Thank you very much for watching, and until next week for round 2 round Donington, it is goodbye.